Man, uh, if you caught the game last night or the replay today, or if I was somewhere other way to watch it, you might even have come away with the idea that maybe, just maybe, FAMU and some of the staff have found a path that might lead them to having an extended future at FAMU. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. See how you feel about it. But the more you win, the harder decisions get, right? I already know what's up with, what it's always going to be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Hoping everything is well with you and yours. A little bit of good trouble with this one. Just saying. When you win games, all of a sudden, you create some paths to the future that maybe some folks didn't see before. I know me for sure. I'm just gonna go on and put it out there. Kind of saw it, but didn't see it coming to fruition, right? I did pick us to win this game though. So if you was with me, 5-0 on the picks, right? So definitely got every game I called on the show right. I was a little surprised. I thought I missed on one. Thought I had picked on old Cookman, but definitely didn't. So thankfully so. That turned into a whole fight, right? Will says, nah, these wins feel like L's. You're not the only one that's feeling kind of like that, man. Like, I can't even lie, man. We give a huge shout out to fellow vets since their service on upcoming Veterans Days. Only 1%. Hey, definitely. Much appreciation to military veterans. Definitely shout out to all those who thought it not robbery, right? Got a couple of my family, a couple of my line brothers too, but immediate family, a couple uncles served in the military. So father-in-law on the other side of the family, brother-in-law. So definitely, man, So, let's see who we got in here. What's up, Marvin? Hey, man. Getting ready for that classic tailgate. What's up, little baby? What's up, Tamara T? Good to see you. So hit, man. And John Jones was dropping heat already. Will Davis, man. You're not wrong about that, though. These wins feel like L's. You're playing the bottom feeders of the conference, so it kind of is what it is. So, Kylan, good to see you as well. And TSU Tigers won. Hey, JSU Tigers won. FAMU won. It looks like Coles would be around. I'm just saying, look, what is the is it Morgan? I forgot. I've seen it. I want to say it might have been Morgan, but it was another school. So I think a MEAC school, one of those schools is kind of at the bottom of the conference. Got Ed reading their sites. So look, you might get it, might get that excitement you're looking for. But let's be honest. I think right now with what Colsey has done, right, and is doing, he's finding a path. And look, let me go ahead and before I forget, add that to the show note. Because I'm gonna step on some toes with that one. I definitely am. Didn't he though? The parts I saw, I will keep it a whole beam with y'all. I tried to watch the game. We have Spectrum, Charter, whatever. Man, they kind of last couple weeks they went a little crazy on some of the channels, and the grill at the time when the FAMU game was playing, you had to watch it on the phone. Not a big watch a football game on the phone type guy. Not when I'm in the friendly confines of the house and I get comfortable in the bed after a long morning. Yeah, I went to sleep. I made it through the first quarter, second quarter. It was over, man. I came back about the fourth quarter and was like, whoa. So hadn't really got to get a full watch of the game. So we're not gonna really do the normal but my guy penalty talk on tomorrow. We'll definitely do that. Get us on there, man. Yeah, that's pressure right there, Will. That's big pressure because that game wasn't close. Now, talking about games I did get to watch, I had that one on TV. And there was so much belt being applied to the behind for that Albany State game. Wasn't funny. Wasn't even close. So now, before we get too far in here, though, look, if you are so inclined, Rattler Boosters, don't forget about them. Definitely going to need your help, need your support. Yeah. I'll have proof of purchase in a minute. St. Clair, round 1. He will be there tomorrow. Probably going to miss the Colesley presser. I probably need to hit up Dennis to see if I can get on a SWAT call though. But there was no postseason press conference, so wasn't completely surprised about that. But it's just saying, man, great win for Quinn Gray though, Marvin. I'm definitely gonna. Let me go on and put this on here, man, because some things from the group chat are good for the FAMU Lee chat, and so appreciate the guys from the group chat on that, man. So there we go. Wait. It's QUINN. It's weird. I got my speaker right there. Also, if you are so inclined and you can, please donate to the track team. It can be $1,000. It can be $1. It can be $5. It can be $5, $10, or $10,000. Get to the track team. Got a couple, not dueling, right? We're trying to do two things at one time. So trying to get them over the hump, raise as much as possible. And they're winning championships. Just saying, man. God says I attended the women's basketball game against Howard. Was up as many as 50. Just didn't get beat. Bad in Jerusalem. Mentioning basketball. Season tickets are on sale. If you are so inclined, definitely join in. And we're gonna take some liberties. We're gonna move the volleyball thing here just a scotch, right? And we're gonna put it right for football. So there we go. But both teams are on there, and volleyball team finished off the season, got a dub. So SWAC championship will be in Tallahassee next week. We need all those who are not coming to the Florida Classic to be there. So you get a little time off. You got that coming. So go ahead and get ready for that, man. Yeah. Women's and men's basketball both took L's. But the next games they have, George Mason for the women's basketball. That's tomorrow. The men are here in Orlando on Tuesday. That's a question for me. Normally I'm there with bells and whistles on, but brother's tired. And Wednesday, so we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. If I got it in me, I might have to go and make that stroll over to the east side of town and catch them for the basketball game. Try to catch Coach Ward and the Rattlers fans. So, but yeah, just saying. Aaron B says, I may be in the minority, but I don't want Quinn as our next head coach. Alumnus don't work. I don't love it. But it's interesting, man. So mentioning that, the game that I went to sleep on. 31-28. I caught the majority of the first half. I was very frustrated. I was very frustrated just because that first touchdown, I'm still wondering how Joseph doesn't get a hand up. Just what the heck? What are we doing? I was watching Florida State game too, so both teams, which is very frustrating. But kind of watch the stats, right? We had a balanced offense. We had a couple big plays. Again, I did see the highlights, did run through those, but in general, you could definitely see where we just had more talent than them. And I knew that was coming. That's part of why I thought we'd win. Somebody did ask me how many I thought we wouldn't by, and I'm not going to say who, but I did guess 3. So I think I said 7 on the show, and then by Saturday morning, I was feeling a little closer to 3. But the game, it wasn't as close as the final score lets on. The stats definitely show you what my brother Penalty Talk was sharing. That it really leads to a second half collapse. I did watch his post game. If you didn't catch his post game, it's a good little instant reaction. I'm glad I didn't commit to it. I was thinking like I might do an instant reaction since I knew there was not, but no. But what this game did was it definitely made it tougher to pull a trigger. So, and how is that so, right? And we'll dig into the game tomorrow, right? Like we'll, watch the Monday night show, myself, Kelvin, Penalty Talk. We'll see if Tashay is able to make it. I know Ashley's just getting over that issue there, and see if Mr. Kim want to jump in too. But the more you win games, the harder it is to make a decision for your coaching staff that doesn't include keeping James Colsey. And I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, right? As I've stated, and I was just listening to Brian, I don't advocate for people to get fired. But what it does is this creates a path to the future in which you can't be one of those people who say the standard is the standard when a coach wins 7 games. Because if you do, you're doing nothing different than Florida State did. Look, I said it, and I've been the biggest proponent for I'll listen to anybody who wants to talk about or fuss about the Willie Taggart situation, because he should have gotten fired. But you cannot go on national television and say it was because of his record and 6 wins not being enough, but then Mike Norvell is doing this. You cannot do that at all, because all of a sudden you created a standard that you never meant to withhold or to hold up. Like, that's just me. And if Colsey can get to 7 wins, you should not. I can't say cannot. Cannot's like really strong thing, right? You should not tune your mouth up and tell him he didn't meet the standard, because all of a sudden what you're setting up is a standard that you're not going to withstand, or both. You're not going to continuously live up to a 7-win standard and say that unless someone meets a 7-win standard, they're fired. It's just not. 1, it's not right, but 2, it's not realistic, because please no, like that. I saw the Ron Dugans. I've seen him on the sideline. Can we not? This is another example of. That's another example of hiring somebody who has no coaching experience. I'll take Ed Reed over him any day of the week, twice on Sundays. And I'm being honest. Like, that's criminal. That would be criminal. That's akin to hiring a rattler that's got no coaching experience. We've done that enough. But I think just saying it out loud. And Jerry Foley said it best. Paraphrasing, right? What's going to be done eventually should be done immediately. And there's a reason for that. And let's be honest. If you're going to let Colsey finish, if he's going to get to 6 or 7 wins, how do you fire him off of the strength of 7 wins? Now, 6 wins and a loss in a classic, I can see that. I can completely kind of see it. It gives you a way out because you lost to the classic. You got B2A in 3 or 5 home games. I can almost kind of be like, okay, you can't lose the classic. But if we're being honest, when you know what the APR is probably going to look like, right? You can't fire that dude off of that. Not when he's winning the games he's supposed to win, except for the Howard game. He should have won that. I still don't excuse that. Like, for this season, I'll be honest with y'all. You lost me with that. Like, the fandom in me died when you lost that game. And that's been a long couple of weeks, but anybody who's seen on the sideline seen a lot of grinning through my teeth and a lot. This is the most behaved I've ever been on the sideline. And I'm proud of that because I've worked on that. It's something been intentional, but it's been a lot easier when I look over and I'm like, I don't have a lot of expectations right now. You lost to Howard. You lost to a team that's not good. And I don't care, anybody thinks I'm talking trash. I'm not. The data stands up. This is what I said. I said what I said. I said it at the beginning of the season, and I was right. I don't normally take that lap around stuff, but I said they were trash at the beginning of the season. I said they weren't going to finish well in their own conference. And I was right. They beat a bad football team. FAMU's not a good football team. 7-5 is not a good record against your schedule. 8-5 should have been the worst. But 7 wins and you're beating who you beat and close. Like, we're talking about the worst teams in the conference. You're having shootouts with. Granted, the score for Pine Bluff is deceiving, right? Like, we were up 31-21. Pine Bluff scores again. How the Thunder, we give up 21 points in the fourth quarter is beyond me. I still don't understand that. But, the closer you get to a 7-win season, the harder it gets to just fire this dude. And that's just being real. I'm not trying to be any type of way about this, but when we're saying you got Alabama A&M coming, they're not a very good team. You got Cookman coming. They are all right, but let's call a spade. On Saturday, they got beat twice. They lost on the field. I mean, a couple of them dudes were stickers to people. No Diddy. Like, a couple of them dudes throwing some haymakers, and they connected. But Buddy did get slung over the bleachers. Like, just saying, you got slung over the bench. Like, I don't know who started the fight, who didn't start the fight. I'm not really big on, football, fighting on the football field. Even when I played football, I wasn't going to punch you with my fist in your helmet. That was not going to happen. Or the face mask. That's metal and plastic. All that equals to me is a broken hand. I'm sorry. Somebody got to be smart around here. It's cool. I'll be smart. I'm not going to punch you in the helmet. Now, you want to take it off? Different story. But I was always taught you never fight with your helmet off. On the sideline, keep your helmet on, keep your head on swivel. But that's just me. And then you finish the season with Valley. They're not a good team. So your schedule was front end loaded, right? Despite Howard. And out of the teams that were the upper echelon, 0-3. So that tells you You're beating the teams that are in the lower end of the conference for the most part, right? I don't know if you can continue that for the rest of the season. You need to. But now you are, and I'm looking at schedule, so sorry, that's why the blank scare hit like that, right? You all your wins against the worst teams. 4-0 against the bottom of the conference. But when you play good teams, B2A, what is that saying? Like, you're giving up 40 points against every good team. Your average is like 42, probably 42.3 points or 43 points. It's 42 against Alabama State, 45 against Central, 41 against Jackson State. So you beat the bottom feeders, and you're thankful for every win. Like, it's hard to win in football games, but in this case, that's not the standard. We're a field goal from finishing where we were predicted to finish. We lost to everyone we predicted to lose but Howard. So if he wins out, you don't fire him. That's where I'm at. Like, I'll be honest. I'm with you when you're right. And in this case, if you're calling for his head and he wins out, you're not right. In my opinion. Like, that's an opinion. That's not a fact. That's just a personal opinion. And furthermore, financially, it doesn't make sense. And then lastly, I hear who the number one candidate is. Can we not create face scarcity? Like, I just saw for the list of top 5 coaches for Southern. That's where I saw Ed Reed. There we go. Ed Reed was one of those people. It was Ed Reed and a couple other guys. He went on a list. And it's not saying that Quinn shouldn't be there, but it's saying this. 6 wins last year, 6 wins the year before that. This year, conference title run. Okay. That's a nice resume. I guesstimated about 20 HBCUs that play Division I football. Out of those 20 Division I HBCUs, 5 to 7 might be making coaching decisions, right? Out of those 5 to 7, which one of those schools you want to go to? Let's go. Let's say that. Like, if we're gonna call for people's jobs, and we're also gonna say that's the one you're bringing in, where are you gonna send him to? Is he going to Howard? Let's call a spade a spade. Let's go through it right fast, right? I mean, is he going to Southern? I think Southern's the most likely, if it was any of them, because they actually have the resource to back up the talk. I doubt it. Is it UAPB, who's coming off of APR sanctions? Probably going to go back into more APR sanctions? I doubt that. Going back to the MEAC, is it maybe Morgan State? I think they just hired a coach. Like, all of a sudden, like, thank you, Aaron. There's only one school, really, out of all those jobs that could really compete with FAMU. Like, so do you leave Albany State? Or do you just kind of sit there and wait for the inevitable? Because just as quickly as I said, 7 wins is not a way that I see you firing a coach. It's also not the way you get your contract renewed. I mean, it's a championship program. Less than 9 wins and less than 8 wins in this season has that conversation going. That eggs on the conversation. Like, if you had lost to 1 or 2 of those teams, okay, cool, we could have had that conversation. But like, you're looking at a 4-5 season right now. Much to the point earlier, I saw the point earlier. Every win feels like a L because they're not convincing wins. They're not wins where you're like walking out the door like, man, yeah, we beat their butt. He's just like, we won, but it was another close game against a sorry team. Is that a credit to us or is it an indictment? Like, and yeah, we got a 5'10" quarterback from Jacksonville. Just saying. Morgan State, if they serious about ball, have they proved to be serious about ball? And most of what they've hired been NFL coaches, right? Like former NFL players. I'm just saying, like, when you're starting to like kind of look at this, does it make sense if he can get to 7 wins? And that's the if, to take on his contract, on board another coach, and then deal with the very likely situation of still not playing in the postseason, but you're paying 2 coaches. I get it. I get the frustration. But I got to ask the question out loud. Like, 6 or 7 wins, is that fireable? And is that a standard that you're going to keep up? Because I think if you do 7 wins and you say, yeah, we out, that's a tough standard. And as a coach coming in, I think that really almost pigeonholes you into one guy coming in. There's only one coach I think that you can hire if you make that kind of decision, and he's Quinn Gray. But at the same point, what happens if Quinn doesn't meet that standard? Do you just ride it out? Do you do what FSU's doing and you say, hey, we ain't got the money, like, we just got to tough this out? Or do you say, man, it's 1 year. Next year's a contract year. Because right now, you literally have a sport where you're in a contract year. Women's basketball is in a contract year. And all we have seen so far this season is B2A. Like, mollywoppins. That's all we getting from women's basketball right now. And it's preseason. It's before the conference starts. But unless something changes, that conversation is going to be had. And it's not a comfortable conversation. It's not something I'm calling for. We just being honest, right? We can't be real about a situation unless we're going to first be honest about it. Like, God rest dead. Mr. Edwards said the same a lot of times. Folks afraid to get real. And he was right. Like, just saying. And it says, so let's wait till we finish 5-7 next year, then look at our new coach. 5-7 is a different story. That's a losing season. And at 5-7, who did you beat? Because if that includes the classic in the males, it's a wrap, Doc. Again, I said it's a path. I didn't say it's guaranteed. I don't think you support losing records. That's just me. Not when you come from, as an assistant, a championship product. The next year, you're in the hunt for the SWAC championship, to then the following year dropping off that many L's. You can't be dropping off 4 and 5 losses per season, because eventually the season after, you got a 3-win season. And some of those teams that you're going to see next year ain't playing. Like, they're going to do just what North Carolina Central did to you, if not worse, and walk the dog with you. The good part about next season is you don't have Alabama State, North Carolina Central, or Jackson State at home. So you are getting the worst of the conference at home. So you should win those games. But just saying, 7 wins when you're rebuilding a program is good. 7 wins following championship is not. I agree. But again, for me, it's withholding a standard. It's holding it up, not withholding. It's being able to say, Because if I fire you for 7 wins, that look a little more personal. It's just me. Like, for 7 wins, me firing you says something else is really going on. And it might be, hey, new AD, you're not my guy. I don't want you. I could live with that because that's the AD saying, I'm taking responsibility for the winning and losing of this program. But at the same point, and I agree with what you're saying, but Willie started with 6 wins. Is that right? Because that goes back to the point that up here earlier. Where was it? Where is it? Oh my goodness. Where about context mattering. Yeah. But can you sustain a program that consistently fires coaches if they don't win 7 games? 8 and up should be the standard. But are you doing 8 and up support? I ask a question. As a fan base, are we supporting the athletic program in a way that we could demand 8 wins and above? I can't say I am this year. Normally, I'm a little more bought in, right? But, and let's see. In an ideal world, you would get 3-4 years minimum. But that's not the way it works now. I agree with that. I agree with that. But man, 2 years is tough. That's tough. Granted, we're working with a whole lot of what if because you got 4 wins, and if you go 4 and the whatever, well, I had to catch myself. It's over. Yeah, 4 wins from 7 wins, especially when the part about context mattering is important because what we're seeing on the field is not indicative of a program that's going up. I think that's one of the big parts there. And there we go. There we go, Aaron. You hit the nail on the head. The regression is the part that gets me. And I think not just the regression, it seems like we're stubborn about regression because RJ finally threw a pick. Like you can put that baby to bed. And then I do have the clip. I'm not going to show it because it really feels like I'm dancing on the grave of the kid. But it wasn't a good pass. But it wasn't a great play. Like, I'll play it. Like, I got time tonight. Like, because we're not dealing with all the crazy X's and O's because I honestly did not.
Love it.
So you can see it right there. Yes, RJ throws a pick. So for anybody who wanted to kind of whatever, but already, I don't know if that's a screen. I don't know what we're running. Like this group of offensive linemen look like there's 3-4 dudes on one person. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like it looks like a screen, but then again, it doesn't. I don't know where RJ is supposed to go with the ball. Like in that case, I don't know what he's supposed to do. Besides, really, maybe just eat it and take the sack. Like it wasn't good protection. Doesn't look like a good play. It looks like we just completely failed in every aspect of the play right there. And then he throws the interception in double coverage. Where he kind of did have a dude like over the top. Like, I don't know who that was, number 1 for a second. He kind of got him. But then again, he kind of doesn't. You got 2 receivers in the same place. Yeah. We're going to look at those tomorrow. Trash. Like, it was trash. And that, I don't know how much that was on him because he really had no time to really, I can't even be like, oh, read your defense. Da, 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 da. What time? Like, it just wasn't there. Yeah, center field. There were 2 receivers there. There's also a defender right there in the middle. Like, I don't know where you're supposed to go with that. Like, I think just kind of watching that. And honestly, I think if you score there, the score looks better. It does look more convincing for FAMU. But I think the biggest outcome is you won the game. That was important. Like, it's important that you beat bad teams. It's important that you kind of see some growth. Yeah, that's always so. He For the normal check down guy, he'd be missing stuff. I think from the part I saw, he hit a home run ball. He got the home run ball with the Goldie. He hears y'all saying he only checks down. He's trying to do better about that, I think. But when you're just kind of looking at this team, right, you're glad for the win. But every win ain't the same. Like, there is a part where context does matter. You are beating the worst teams in the conference. And I think that's some of the gratifying part, where as much as we talked about how many points per game Cookman scored, most of those points per game, most of them were against bad teams. They didn't beat them, but they put pressure on some of the good ones. Look, yeah, it was. I saw that one. That pass to Goldie was solid too. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and play like he don't make good passes. He has a few that are good. Like I said, the interception, I don't know how much that was on him. I really don't know what he was supposed to do besides he probably should just took a sack, I think. And that's hindsight. Like, that's hindsight, and hindsight is always 20/20. But and you're right, Aaron. He's improving. He's got a long way to go before I would be willing to bet the farm on him. Agreed. Look, I was unwilling to pick FAMU in the pick'em. Like, I definitely expressly remember saying, I think FAMU should win, but I wouldn't put nothing on it. And that's the part, JT. He needs reps. Just saying, though. And, say I have a question. Can Colsey hire coordinators? I'm not sure. Defense needs upgrade. I said this, just me personally. I'm ready for Colsey to drop sticks. Like, sorry, man. I know defensively, you might have a defensive mind. You've been a head coach. You've been a position coach. I'm going to not say it today. I don't love him as a defensive coordinator. It's just being me. And it's the results. It's not anything personal. Y'all know how I feel about that stuff personal-wise. But stat-wise, I don't like James Colsey as a defensive coordinator. And I don't think he should retain that power. I just don't. I think if you're going to finish 7-5 or get close to 7-5, that conversation has to be had about passing the sticks. Because offensively, we kind of see what the move is, right? Like, it's going to be RJ and all the quarterbacks you bring in. Because I fully expect every quarterback behind RJ to be like, deuces, I can do this somewhere else. But I'm also looking at the other piece of defensively. You're losing a lot of guys. I don't see where you justify staying as defensive coordinator. It's not like you're actually having a high-rated defense. You have one of the worst-rated defenses in the conference. You have good players. Like, defensive line-wise, you have some decent players. In the secondary, you got one corner straight. You got another one that's kind of mid. I don't like the way we set up our defense. I don't like how far we are off the ball. I don't like a lot about our defense pre-snap. Like, before the ball even gets snapped, there's so much about our defense that I detest that it makes me question if you're going to be my defensive coordinator next year. And if I'm an athletic director, the answer is no. Like, I'm just saying, like, and I'll be honest, I don't think he is. That's just me. I don't think he's happy. I think he understands the game. I think he understands what he wants to see. I love what Penalty Talk said yesterday, right? I love how Penalty Talk pointed out how some of the extra persons seem to have influence. And I've dropped hints about that myself because I've heard a lot. We've definitely any of us that are close enough to the football team have definitely heard that certain people are more impactful than they should be when it comes to the football team, right? I don't think that we're doing this right. And I think the evidence is on the field. I think what we're seeing is that offensively, you have a team that has a lot of potential. I think that the frustrating part about watching the UAPB game, especially the highlights. When you watch the highlights package on HBCU Go, you see so much talent. You see Wilcher, you see Lawrence, you see Thad, and all of a sudden you see how fast this team is. Like, where has that been for most of the season? Being able to see how fast FAMU was. Like you saw Goldie literally pull away from people. You saw Wilcher literally pull away from people. You saw Thad over there mushing people. Like all of a sudden, you saw this offense show you how capable it is when the ball gets into the hand of the playmakers. And a lot of it, I'll say this, I don't need to see the same game plan against Alabama A&M. Not to a T, because you saw a lot of times FAMU got away with something that they got away with in a lot of games. And you want to know what FAMU got away with is? I got more talent than you. Straight up. Albany State, you had more talent than they did. Barely. But you got away with it. Alcorn, you got away with, I have more talent than you. I'm at home. Better, just better. Southern, I have more talent than you. Southern's not a good team. UAPB, another game, you have more talent than them. And they have a former Rattler on their team. So you start looking, what's the common denominator in all these games where FAMU has won? One, Marvin, you're right. We barely won them. We also had more talent than all of them. And when we were able to out-talent you, outsize you, and just maul you at the line of scrimmage, it worked. Just run the ball. Okay. That definitely works when I have more talent than you. What's up, Coach Jefferson? But what doesn't work when you don't have more talent than the teams, we're just going to run the ball. That don't work. You can't do that against the good teams. It sounds great. It sounds real convenient. But any football coach worth his salt will tell you, if you're lined up mano a mano and the team across from you is just as good as you, I doubt you're going to be able to just run all over them. You're going to have to coach it up. You're going to have to scheme it up. And some of the things, we had problems with drop balls at times this season. You also had some times where your play calls didn't really flow, or the coach was calling plays that should flow, but once a mistake happens, it threw it off. And then we didn't pivot. I think in this game, once you saw UAPB, especially into the game, we gave 21 points in the fourth quarter. Like, that's concerning. And it's for Alabama A&M, not really that concerning. They're not good. For Cookman, that's a concern because they can score. And it's going to be a whole lot of them playing that little song and Let's Go Wildcats. I think that's my question. Going into the Alabama A&M game, like I said, they're so down bad that I'm not overly concerned about it. But it's a game where you can't out-talent them. In Cookman, you can out-talent them. But every game left on the season, you can beat them off of talent alone, but you can't rely on talent. And I think that was what we've seen in this game, because there is a path to the future where Colsey can keep this job next year. He can come back. And I think it's very likely at this point, but I don't think it's very likely that all these kids stay for it because they see the same thing you see. I can promise you. They sit on the sideline. I don't care what you say about football players. You can call them dumb. You call them stupid, anything you want. As my dad likes to say, everybody ain't stupid. These kids look on the sideline and they tell you where to go. Like if you're close enough to the sideline, you can hear the players reading coverage, recognizing and saying, go here, go there. They'll say it before RJ makes the move. Look here, look there. They're trying to help him out. But you've got to make the decisions. And you have to put these kids in the best position to succeed. I still don't think, even in a win, we put this team in the best position to succeed. Because if so, UAPB doesn't score 21 points in the fourth quarter. 2 touchdowns. Okay. 3 touchdowns in a quarter? That's a lot. That's how you give up 70 points in a game. 80 points in a game, 21 points. And what I think that really did was, I think that exposed your defense even more. Because what do we see in the same game? Again, I told y'all, look, by halftime, I was trying to watch on the phone. Didn't work. But by halftime, you kind of started to see we're still running a 3 down front. It's not on the 30% of passes or whatever. That's your defense. You're married to it. Tell something else to somebody who's going to believe it. But don't tell it to somebody who watched the games, who's on the sideline, who's sitting up here doing this. I do a lot of that. I do. Because I see a lot of 3 down fronts. We're not getting a lot of pressure. And you had moments you got some sacks in this game. You had times where your defense showed we're better than them. You did. You literally, I remember last week saying on Thursday, and I felt like you neutered the defense a little bit. You tried to take the dog out them boys. And, hey, I don't know which one of them players heard it. Somebody took that personal. Now that is one play I didn't clip. But go back and watch. UAPB quarterback throws the ball to the right. FAMU defensive player come through with some bad intentions. The ball got separated from him. Told y'all. These boys ain't soft. The system and the play calling is soft. That's soft. But these boys here, they still want to win. They still want that path to the NFL and to their pro dreams. I mean, every kid who plays football, that's the dream. The dream is to play in the NFL. I don't care who you are. At some point, you want to be whatever you see on TV. And those kids still want to be that. And you definitely got to do some things though, man. Because right now, you're getting ready to play an Alabama A&M team that's starving. Completely starving. They are not a good team. And they need a win. And again, I'm with you. Defensively, imagine if you let them boys play. If you let these boys play, I think it'd be some fun. I think the defense would at least give us an overcast. That's not a dark cloud defense. It's not. It's a slap in the face to call them dark cloud defense. They're not a dark cloud. But he's got to be something different. What I think about Demetrius, I don't know. I don't have a good range on him. partially because we're running 3 down front. I mean, number 90, I see him all day. He fighting through double teams. Imagine if he had another regular defensive lineman on the side of him. What kind of havoc? I had to catch himself. Would he raise? I don't think he's being used right. That's just my personal opinion. Like, his brown skin, it ain't even brown skin, doc. That defense ain't even melanated. Like, and I'm saying that like tongue in cheek, but honestly, they're not dark cloud. They're just there. Like, if I had to give my grade right now, I mean, I'm gonna give him a passing grade, but barely. That fourth quarter was horrible. Like, D-line is not good enough to run the 3-man front. It's not. It's not. And you have a drop 8 defense. Like, that's frustrating. Like, literally, it's either drop 7 or drop 8. You blitz 3 plus the undersized linebacker off the edge. Like, it's not changing. There's no adjustment. You're literally beating these second half teams off talent. There's nothing spectacular. RJ's growing. I won't deny that. But at the same point, what you're asking him to do is less complicated. But as the season goes on, he should be doing some of that against some of these teams. You know, and it's not fair to be like, the kid ain't great, but it's just not enough. Like, you got to do some more. He makes plays, our interior D-line. Best part of our defense. Give me linebacker. Give me linebacker. I think, and you can say I'm biased, I think Nayron Jenkins is the best part of this defense. That's just my personal opinion. I think largely the linebacker core as a whole is probably the best part of this defense because a lot of times they're out there playing with nobody to defend them. There's nobody covering them. Like, normally, he ain't coming back. Like, respectfully. I don't think he's coming back. If he is, I think I'd be shocked. But I had never from him. I hope, though. I think if that player, he's going to be the he who shall not be named this year, were to come back, I think you would run a true 4-down front. And I think you would definitely see some differences. But that's just me. Next Saturday, last home game, FAMU better bring all their venom from the jump, or it could be trouble. You're not wrong. I think at the same point, do you still have? Is that team still invested? Like, two teams who are, for all purposes, eliminated from the SWAC championship, and who have no postseason hope. They're just playing for pride at this point. How much pride you got? I think that's going to be an interesting thing. A place where FAMU routinely struggles too, right? So, Sunday Delight defense. Cause you funny. Mentioning that, hey, that's 5-0 in the pick'ems. So I hit all of them. Don't think I'm gonna win a championship again. It would have been nice to three-peat, but you never know. Crazy things might happen. I think I was in tied for like 3rd or 5th right now. So, but man, I really got to see some changes, man. And I don't think we're willing to make those changes. I think that's the frustrating part. And I think, especially as a fan, the frustrating part for all of us is that the more games you win, the more likely that you see a path for a return. And I think that's frustrating for the fans because the fan in me is like, bro, you're not winning and it's not looking good. The journalistic piece of me is like, hey, this is our team. You know, We want something good that we can cover, something, that's going to have people watching and talking and listening. And it's weird to be in that area where the two things are going on at the same place, where you kind of watch the games and you're really feeling like no matter what, they're not wins. Like, even when you win, it does feel like a loss, because one, you're beating bad teams, but you're barely beating bad teams. It's one thing when Willie Simmons was at FAM and we played Valley, you barely beat them, and you're like, man, whew, we got away with that one because you beat the other teams. Like, it was another thing when you barely beat UAPV when we had Willie, because you were like, all right, we won the rest of the games, though. We beat the teams we needed to beat. That was just we struggled. The boys slept walking into that one. Ain't no sleepwalking in this. Like, you are what you are. You're a middle of the conference team right now who has explosive talent and who constantly has you questioning, are you using that talent properly? Are you setting the players up for success? Like, are you putting the players in the best position to succeed? I think the honest question has to be asked. Just because you win doesn't mean you put them in the best position to succeed. Sometimes you just got better product. Like, sorry, we got blue magic. You got whatever the heck you ran up on the corner with, but it ain't blue magic. And at a certain point, your athletic director got to be like Frank Lucas. And he's going to demand that you meet the standard of what blue magic is. Because for the longest time, FAMU fans, we've got accustomed to blue magic. And what we're being served right now, that ain't blue magic. And unfortunately, we're having withdrawals. I definitely, I did that. And the problem with withdrawals, it don't feel good. It ain't comfortable. And you want that old thing back. Look, yeah. EA, if you finish 7-5, does it keep his job? Yeah, I would. Because the number one option, it's only 20 schools hiring. It ain't like it's not like you're very likely to lose that person to another school. Not to a school that they're desiring to be at, right? Like, I think, let's be honest, the number one option for most of Rattler Nation, that's why I say y'all, it ain't Keith, it's Quinn Gray. 6 wins, conference championship. What other schools are options? Again, I threw them out there. If I'm Quinn Gray, there's no way in heck I'm going to UAPB. You couldn't pay me enough. I'm sorry. And that's not a slight on them, but it's just the reality. There's no way on this side of heaven that I'm going to a lot of these schools. Like, would you go to Howard? Yeah, they just beat FAMU, but that wasn't off talent. That was just terrible coaching. Like, let's call a spade a spade. That's bad coaching. Piss poor coaching. Sorry. Like, Coach Go 30, every meme right there. You had it right there, and you weaseled it away. Like, are you going to take the Alcorn job? That's not a job. Would you take Southern? Maybe. But that's the same pressure as FAMU, and you don't have the relationship in recruiting with that area. Just saying, like, that's the only really viable job. You can go to Morgan State, they're apathetic about football. They have a stadium that seats 10,000 people, and they don't fill that up. And they've done the NFL thing a few times. They've hired the coaches that are borderline celebrity coaches. It didn't work. And they're, Are you going to go to a school like that? I doubt it. You going to Hampton? They don't really care about football. Let's be honest. So out of all the schools who are seriously serious about football and give 2/3 about it, Southern is the only school I would ever consider. And Ed Reed's on the list there. Ed Reed's on that list. Honey Badger's on the list now, from what I saw from some publications. Do you make that move? Out of 20 schools, 3 to 5 are hiring, and only 1 or 2 are actually decent jobs. You don't stay at Albany State for that. Because the best part about Albany State, if you win that conference, you can go to the playoffs. You're not ducking West Florida. And let's call a spade a spade. I know personally, I can speak for my own family. They got kids that you should have recruited. I know one kid in particular I tried to put you on. West Florida ain't lost a game. I'm just saying. You don't want to smoke with West Florida. I'm just saying. If I was a betting man and I saw West Florida against Albany State, I got West Florida by 3 touchdowns. I'm that confident in that program. So you got to ride that out, because you have to trust and believe that, 1, your program is worth it, but 2, do you want to pay 2 coaches? Especially, again, I say it one last time before we get up out of here, when we know APR is looking like. I'm just saying, when we know what the APR is looking like, would you come to FAMU? 7-5, that's a path to a return. Might not be a path to season tickets. Be a real tough sell. But I think if the path stays the way it is, I said that years ago. Look, when it opened, my list was short. Everyone that I could think of that I was kind of high on, my top 3, they're doing well. Just saying. So what you're saying, don't schedule West Florida next. No. I don't schedule West Florida ever again. Just being honest. West Florida is looking to make a move to go Division 1. And the difference between West Florida and FAMU is they have the community backing them. Not saying FAMU doesn't have the community backing them, but it's not the same. They are the only game in town. It's them and minor league baseball, and they got the support. FAMU wish it could get Tallahassee behind it like that. I'm just saying. Oh, you coached him? Hey, we seen what he could do. He ain't bad now. Really knew about the issues before he took the job. Hey, man, what are the APR sanctions now? Full season, no postseason. And I have it. Let me see. Bookmarks. Yeah, no. So there we go. For anybody who wants to double check, hey, feel free. That's what it looked like. That's the website. You can check the sport. You can go to football, school. And this is part of why the big boys are trying to get away from some of this. But you can literally search. Yeah. APR has not been good for a long time. So there we go. And oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. Let's make it large for the people who need glasses. One more again. So level 1 penalty reduction. You can kind of look though under Cozy. 911, 906, that then 898, 902, got a 931 at that one time, 923s. But the problem is you still playing off them. That 8 and that 9 right there. And those are 20. It had the year next to it. There we go. So 23, 24, 22, 23, 21, 22 is a killer. And that's part of what's holding you up. So again, you ain't got to trust me. You can go check it out on your own. Academic progress rate, web3.nca.org/APR search/APRs search. That's the killer. So when I'm kind of throwing out there and throwing red flags, that's what I'm talking about. That's grades. So that's part of what Tiff was talking about. When she was like, hey, that's what we're dealing with. That's part of the reason I openly say, I don't know if you fire a coach at 7-5 wins. And what happened with OBG? Her numbers weren't bad. Her APR numbers were good. 21, 22 was 898. The next year we got the 906. So considering that was better, but yeah, she was only there a year. And every other sport was pretty much killing it. So yeah, Colsey went up 5 points. You almost need a perfect score. That's why I'm saying it's really questionable this year. I don't know if you get a perfect score to get this postseason, avoid the postseason ban. So when you start looking at that, plus you start looking at the amount of money that you would spend to pay 2 coaches and 2 staffs and everything else, well, really 1 staff, but 2 head coaches. Is 75 worth firing somebody when you're not going to go to the Celebration Bowl anyway? Just saying. Real questions, man. All right, y'all. Look, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long because tomorrow we got the Monday Night Review. We got special guest Penalty Talk. He will be in. Cousin Kelvin's gonna be there. We're gonna break down the game, man. Look, I'm hosting. I'm host mode. So unless I get to see it, I'm gonna be really hosting. Just saying. That's what I'm saying. Yes. So, and that's something else too. So hopefully you really need a perfect score to be able to get anything. So we're going to see, man. And I don't disagree. Hey, man, I'm going to be everywhere. Classic weekend. Classic weekend. Look, if you are so inclined, look, Winter Park, OAC, we will be having a tailgate. Bring a $10 donation. Come through, man. Good food. Look, we're going to have oysters on the half shell again. Grilled oysters on the half shell. I think we got it fresh too. So I don't do frog. I don't do raw seafood though. That's just me. All right, y'all. Tomorrow though, catch us 8 o'clock. I am everywhere though. So Thursday back here, and also Friday, St. Clair Marine round 1, man. So we do a little something everywhere, man. So all right, we'll catch y'all tomorrow on the Monday Night Review featuring Kelvin Rozier, myself, Penalty Talk. I'm going to see if we can catch Deshae and Uncle Steve. We're going to give my girls some time. 7 o'clock. Be there or be square. I'm going to try to get the announcement and everything up, man. All right, y'all. You already know what's up, what it's always going to be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, have it!